Greetings, groovy people! Welcome to the channel. I'm the self-proclaimed Blue Dragon, and as I promised last week, I'm going to be discussing how the Saturday art market went, the Better Together art market put on by True North Studios. It was a really fantastic event. I had so much fun, and I actually did really well, especially compared to last year, which I'm going to be very clear on everything and kind of show y'all how things went, how I track my purchases and stuff. So without further ado, we're going to get straight into this video. This is an art related channel. It's primarily targeted at an adult audience. Actually, it is completely targeted at an adult audience, although I'm going to try to keep my cursing down to a minimum in this video because I was in, it was such a great event and I had a lot of fun. So first and foremost, I want to say that I consider this to be a very successful venture for myself. I was able to quote unquote break even and even earn. This is going to sound so pathetic, y'all, but I'll explain later. But I made $5 over the cost of the booth. Now, I know that doesn't sound all that exciting, but last year when I attended, the booth cost was much cheaper, but I only made like a little bit over, like maybe $1 or something over. I'll talk about that in a few minutes. So last year I only actually sold maybe 2 or 3 pieces, but this year I did tons of chibi drawings. That was a very successful venture for me, and I think that it's something that I kind of want to keep doing because it was just so much fun. And my interactions with people, in the community, I just had so much fun. I got to draw a dog. I drew a couple, they had a daughter who they went home, got a picture of her with her guitar, and I got to draw their daughter as like a little chibi. And they ended up buying a couple of my nudes, which was really exciting for me. And, I got to draw like a dog, which was like a pug and a Boston mix, which if you watch my channel, y'all know I have a Boston. I like to say Boston like that. I know it's not like pronounced that way, but I used to have a pug and a Boston myself when I was in high school. So this lady had a mix that was a mix of those two breeds, and I get to draw her with her dog, and it was just, the whole thing was so fun. I just had a lot of fun. So I do want to say that venture was very successful, and I also got a little bit of swag. I got to meet the artist and author of Modest Medusa, whom I had actually read Modest Medusa like back when I used to read it on DeviantArt, but I had lost track of this comic that I read. Oh my gosh, you guys, this comic is so cute. It's kind of like slice of life, and I don't know, just go check it out. I've got the dude's business card here, but I saw this artwork. It's Copic and marker, or Copic and ink, I should say. This is of Colonel Mustang. I love Full Metal Alchemist, and when I saw this, like, it was in the very back, I saw a little bit of it, and I was like, oh my god, that's the one I need. That's the one I want. This is the one. But here's Modest Medusa. I highly recommend it. I didn't even know this dude was like based in Portland, to be honest. And it's a really cute little comic. I really enjoy it. I'm pretty sure like everything in it is like safe for work, so definitely go check it out. I also got some stickers from him. I already gave the Tracer one to my partner. I think he's already put it on like his water bottle or something, but I love the little She-Ra Medusa. And of course, Princess Mononoke. This is one of my favorite Ghibli studio films. But yeah, I just thought these were adorable. He also had one with Tracer from Overwatch, which is a game that my partner plays all the time. So that's why I got that. He gave me a pretty good deal. You buy 2, you get 1 sticker free. And I felt good because like my stickers were priced about the same as his. I just didn't have like get a free sticker deal. So yeah, I felt good that my stuff is priced about the same as what he had it charged. And that was all just like a coincidence. But this was super cute art. Highly recommend Modest Medusa if you haven't been reading it, if you like that kind of story. It's a little bit fantasy, a little bit slice of life. It's like super cute. I need to get back into it, which is why I snagged the card. But yeah, so I got some swag. I also had donated to the raffle, but I figured what the hell. I'll also give like a little bit of money to the raffle. I don't think I won anything, but that's fine. That wasn't the point, You got a little swag bag. I'm gonna put this on like my backpack. This is a Better Together pin. Oh my gosh, these are so cute. The design is so cool. It came with origami instructions and some origami paper. So you could, you know, make these. A lot of the proceeds are going in conjunction with this Free Arts Northwest, or NW, I think that's Northwest. But it's to help give kids opportunities to get into art and to create arts and crafts, and give them like free opportunities for, you know, underprivileged kids and just anyone in general who doesn't like have a lot of money to do this. So I thought it was a really cool opportunity. Plus, I mean, I wanted the swag bag, to be quite honest. I'm a sucker for swag. And this really cool vinyl sticker. So cute. And then there's like, you know, the advertisements for True North Studios. I'll have this stuff linked down in the description. I'm not going to try to pronounce it because I'm going to mess it up. They also had 3 cute little buttons. So like they got like a True North, one of the Free Arts, and then the art Soleil. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry, people. Okay, you know, I had really cool neighbors. Everyone around me was super awesome. And at the end of it, the chick that was next to me, you know, we talked just about the whole time when there was nobody there. I gave her a little chibi sketch that I'd used to like warm up for the day. I did one of her. And so she gave me this cute little notebook that she made. It's like a mini notebook. You know, like her choice of colors were spot on. I can't remember the name of her booth. I'll find it in a couple minutes. But just a cute little very subtle watercolor stripes in varying values. Very, very cool. I don't know. What do you all think I should do on this? I might do this on the channel. I might try to do something. Maybe I'll do like teeny tiny chibis or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I want to do something special for the channel for y'all. I mean, obviously I'm going to be doing Dark Horse stuff too, but this is just an art channel that I do like a lot of different things on. So I primarily do Dark Horse, but I like to kind of branch out a little bit here and there. Also, look at this. This is how cool her color choice was. She even picked like a complementary color to use as like the rubber band. So she knows her color theory, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so people who care about numbers, and just to kind of not be teasing like how I did, I keep a notebook of work that I do. I've been doing this for years, but at last year's summer art market, the booth was $10, right? It was really, to me, that was a deal. That was not just a deal, that was a steal. So I'm just telling you about how like True North Studios does try to keep things like accessible for people. This year it was $50, but reasonably so. I mean, she's got a studio to keep open for people, and $50 is still cheap for like the Portland area. Other places charge anywhere from $80 to $100 to more. So this was really a good deal. But at any rate, I sold like 2 buttons and 1 like original art piece, and then like 2 stickers. So I made more, and then I spent $15. I always spend my money at these art markets. I made like $6 over last year, and I only sold like a couple items, which is fine because my primary goal there was to advertise my comic and get the local community reading my comic. And then of course I track like, you know, my 2021 sales. But so this year, holy shit, I filled an entire page, y'all. I started the day off by like, the event started at like 10, and by around 11, I think that's 43, I had done like 2 or 3 chibis, and I got tips for these. The goal was tips. A lot of times if you let people kind of choose what they're gonna do, they might give you more than what you would ask for. So I had the tip be optional. This is something that I really like took away from the Amanda Palmer TED Talk. I know that's not like something that's going to work for like a lot of people, but considering my skill level and, you know, kind of what I do, yeah, this actually worked fantastically for me. And again, it was optional because there might be people who wanted art who didn't really have a lot of money. In fact, I ran into a couple people that I suspect didn't have too much money, one of which did not tip, which was fine because, like, great conversation. I chit-chatted with this person and I had a lot of fun, and I consider personal experience and, you know, good talks to be more important than, you know, you can't really place a monetary value on that, you know, just having positive energy exchange between people. So that was fine. And then there was another lady who, like, did make a purchase, and she was so sweet. Like, she bought, like, just a couple buttons. It was just $1. That's all she had on her. But, like, just $1 is still $1. So I was really thrilled to meet, like, all these really cool people. It was really fun. I really had a good time. But yeah, I sold 2 pieces. I actually gave away one Act 1, and then I sold Act 2 and Act 3. I only put, I need to put the 3 there. I did more free chibis. I had a button set. I gave away an Act 1. Actually, I gave like 3 Act 1s away, which to me, that's important because I've got my website information. I've got ads on my website, you know, with Comic Ad Network. So the more people I get viewing my site, the more people who are potentially clicking on those ads, the more money that I'm getting for that. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not just about what I make at the market for me, because this is not what is supporting my existence. So any sale is just kind of cream. You know what I'm saying? I did some more free chibis, button sets. I sold a few button sets. Chibi for tip, my Sailor Moon sticker, and this person who purchased this was, like, super important to me because this guy is, like, kind of knows a lot of local independent artists who works on comics, and he was telling me, and a lot of these people actually were telling me about, you know, how to network and where to meet people locally who are kind of in the comic scene here, who are doing things independently. So that's another thing that I value over money, is learning where to meet people that I can learn from, or that I can, you know, impart some information on. Mostly I'll be learning, let's face it. Yo, but if I can help other people, that's cool too. Yeah, I mean, and then I did, like, chibi for tip. There's, like, really, I only did a couple free chibis, really. Yeah, most of the time people tipped. So I did really well, I think, for this market. Sorry if there's a bit of audio change here, but I almost forgot that I also had a little bit of money that was not given in cash. I used my Square account for transparency reasons, and since I said I was going to show my results, I am just going to come in here. I'm going to go to reports. So then you can see that I also made quite a couple sales on my Square digitally. That's all I wanted to show here. Sorry. Now we're going to return to the desk babbling, okay? I'm actually doing not too bad for this year. I left a blank page in case another event comes up. I had a commission this year. The art market, I'll put down how much I made. Then the Eradia Collective, I'm going to be talking about this pretty soon here, probably in September, but I'm doing a pretty big zine project for the Eradia Magical Girl Collective, and then I'm going to, like, start tracking, like, my Patreon and Subscribestar, you know, how much I made each year. They will tell you at the end of the year. It's still under, like, the threshold for having to, like, declare it tax-wise, so I'm good on that. Like, I'm way under the threshold, clearly. But yeah, to me, this was just such a great experience. I laughed so much. I loved talking with other artists. I had so much fun. Oh my god. So to me, this was a really good, successful experience. And my takeaway from this is that the chibi art thing is actually very successful. My setup was really easy this year too. Like, my partner helped me out, but, like, I reduced how much stuff I'm carrying around. It took me, like, maybe 25 minutes to set everything up, which is not, I mean, that was me going slow. I was not rushing at all. So yeah, this This was a very successful year at the art market. Some of the things, you know, that you get to kind of prepare, you get your email from the event, you get your information in the email, you know, what the rules are, if there's an emergency, you know, whatever. And then you get your like booth assignment, which I had a really great spot. I was like right here. Okay, who was the person next to me? F4. Tosh and Co. Very nice. Very nice. Also this local artist, Jensen Nelson. She was super nice. This Jamie Yahaz. I think I'm saying her name right. Really nice. But I've met some of these other people like at last year's event, but everything was very clear cut, you know, instructions and everything. This was so professionally done. Definitely had a great time. Some of the things that I did to prepare, like I was talking about in I think one of my, like maybe last week's video, I did just some ink art that I kept really cheap. It took less than like 10 minutes to do the ink work, so I only charged like $5 a piece, and I sold 2 of those. So this was very successful. The drink series that I'm doing apparently is going to be fairly popular. You know, I'm really having a good time making those anyway, so I might make some prints of those sometime off in the future. Actually, ideally I want to do 12 and make a calendar to sell, but anyway, that's like future plans. I had a sign, you know, ask me about free chibi art. I got a great suggestion from one of the dudes who's actually a part of True North Studios, that I've met a couple times at like some business meetings and stuff. Because people aren't necessarily familiar with what chibis are, and it can be a little confusing, I should put like character art, like free chibi character art, and I 100% agree with him. That was a great suggestion. This is what I'm talking about, like meeting people who have like good ideas and can help you build on your own skill and tool arsenal. So that was a great suggestion. I'm gonna remember that for the next time I run this event. And I had just drawn a couple quick chibis of like my my little avatar thing that I use. Oh my gosh, I had to do a little bit of practice because it's been a while since I've done calligraphy, but I knew there were going to be kids at this event, and I don't like to be like inappropriate or weird, so I had 2 foam boards. I kept all the nudes on the one in the back, and then I had this sign sticking out so that people knew that I had partial nudes and nudes. But I didn't want like everything just hanging out, you know, because I felt that would be a little inappropriate since I knew there were going to be a ton of little kids running around. I'm a list maker, so I had to make sure that I made a list to remember everything that I would need. So, you know, I wanted to take my little cutting board in case I needed to cut down one of those inklings that I did, because I used these, which are lifesavers, but in some cases I did have to kind of use them and touch some of the paper, even though everything was in like sheet protectors. So I was prepared if somebody asked to like cut off a little annoying area. I was prepared with like my cutting board. These I highly recommend if you're gonna have a board. This is what my booth looked like, and you can see that I have the 2 boards. That's what I was talking about. I had the partial nude sign sticking out of the side, so that if anyone wanted to look at that, they could. These were super helpful, and a couple paper clips too. I also tried to keep the board less cluttered than last year. Everything I did, you'll notice my booth, I practiced that booth. One for like setup and teardown. I wanted that to be quick. You know, I've done this a couple times now, and the more you do something, the more efficient you want to be, the more you realize I don't want to like wear myself out after having sat at the booth all day, you know. So I practiced the booth here. I took pictures of what I wanted it to look like so that I could reference it when I was there. And I decluttered my booth. I have a ton of stickers, I have a ton of prints, things that I want to get rid of because it's not like art that really represents my skill level now. But no matter how tempting it was to put all of it out, I was like, no, I'm going to put my fan art out, I'm going to put a couple of my personal original character stickers, and that's it. I'm not going to put all of the Dark Horse stickers out because, you know, I need to have a larger fan base before anyone's even going to want this. Like, I did sell a couple last year, but at the same time, my main goal, I knew my main focus, I needed space to do like the chibi thing to see how successful that would be. So I needed to keep my booth decluttered. And I'm a clutter person. I love just having it's like a Victorian living room on my table. You know, there's knickknacks and whatnots everywhere. No clear space. But I really had to like become a tiny bit, not even minimalist, but I've had to like minimize how much stuff I put out. And the easel that I got, that really helped me out to have the boards, because the easels, you know, really kept things out of the way. This year I had my partner just help me set up and leave. I was like, dude, I can do this on my own. You go do something fun. He went and had guitar practice. Yay him! He's doing great. And so I used the space where he normally sits for like my easel, and then like my neighbors were cool, so whenever I needed to use the bathroom or look around at the artists, people watched my booth for me. But yeah, I digress. I had like this whole list of things that I need to remember. Like, you know, I had to drop off what I was donating for the raffle, my cutting board, cutting up Bristol board for like price tags, and for the chibi art, which I talked about last week. I needed to go through my convention box and organize it, so I did that. I had to make sure that I had money, so I had to go to the bank. I needed to update my tip jar. It worked. It worked. That tip jar was full. I wish I'd gotten a picture of that, actually. That would have been cool. Sorry. Table and chair. Practice booth I had written down. I talked about that. Put up boards. Or I just talked about my foam boards. I need to remember my ink pen. Bags, paper bags. I think 1 or 2 people needed bags. Most people just carried their stuff. Phone charger to make sure my square didn't die. It's better to be safe than sorry. So brought the phone charger and a battery bank, I should say. I just wrote phone charger, but there was a battery bank in there. I looked up the information on business licenses. I obviously get an exemption. I read all the like laws for like Portland and everything, and clearly I did not make enough money to have to declare taxes. So I'll be doing like the exemption paperwork and stuff like that. One other thing I wanted to make sure I did, I have a bunch of flyers for Aradia Magical Girl Collective, but like I said a few minutes ago, I was trying to keep my actual space decluttered so that I could work. So since I had the easel, it was kind of set out to the side. I had a corner area, so I was fortunate enough to be able to do this. I just put my flyer on some cardstock that I keep with me in case I need cardstock. I had this hanging up underneath my traditional art so that people, if they wanted to take a picture of it, which one couple did, actually, the couple that bought my ink art, they saw the sign and they took a picture of it, probably for their daughter, I would presume. But yeah, I had this as like an advertisement to support my collective because I love Aradia. That's just a little side note. To prepare for like the chibi thing, I went to like my local tavern and I practiced this. I drew my partner, which he kept it because he really liked the chibi art that I did. But I drew our, oops, I'll cover that. I drew our bartender. He's more than a bartender. He like runs around and, you know, like does drinks and stuff. And I think he's like co-owner of the joint. But I did a chibi of him. I did a chibi of like random people. This was like from my imagination. Obviously no one was skateboarding. But I was timing to see how long it'd take so that 1, I could be quicker, and 2, so that I could tell people how long it took in case they wanted to know. And the goal was to do this within like 5 to 10 minutes because that's pretty much all the time you're gonna get. People are, you know, they're at the event. They want to go see other artists. So yeah, I did this one in like 5 minutes. This is not a very good one, but this I did in like 4, almost 5 minutes. But yeah, so I was practicing drawing chibis, and then I did my warm-up before the event. So I was drawing like some artists. I did kind of do my own little character here as an artist. These 2 people were not at the event. The people who were at the event that I drew as like warm-up, I gave them pieces. That's why these have been cut out, is because as kind of like a little gift, because I'm sure they didn't want anything that I had, you know. They didn't look like they were interested in a magical girl comic. But I gave them the little chibi art that I drew of them that they didn't know, which maybe that's a little weird, but hey, I needed the practice, okay? And I gave it to them so I wasn't hanging on to it, so. But yeah, I practiced this before going. is the takeaway from that, so that I wouldn't just be winging it. I worked hard to make sure that each chibi was kind of original and expressive. And what I did when I was, talking with people who wanted their chibis drawn is I would ask if they're more extroverted or introverted. Or I might say, do you have a specific pose that you want? So they would, strike a pose, and I would quickly do like my gesture drawing just to make sure that I had what they wanted down. And then I told them, you can relax now. I can build off of this. So this is where gesture drawing and practice in that really helps come in, because even though chibis are like super simplified, you can do a lot with like gesture and expression. And that's kind of like one of the reasons why I really like chibis, and why I got that book anyway, just to help myself improve. But yeah, those were kind of the things that I did to get ready for this event. And so I think that's about all I have to say. If I get invited back next year, am I going to attend? Hell yeah. And I'm going to, just as like I did better this year than I did last year. I mean, you saw my book. You saw how much more I did and how much more I earned. If I'm fortunate enough to get invited back next year, hell yeah, I'm going to do it again. I really like the people at True North Studios. I like I met a couple people that I've met at some events, and kind of chit-chatted with them a bit. So I really enjoyed myself. I was able to raise awareness of my comic, and of course I was networking and stuff. So I had a really good time, and that's not even counting all the practice I got. So the more you do something, the more comfortable you get. I feel like the better you can do. The idea that I got, where I got this idea to do the chibi art is from the creator of Oi. That comic I've talked about in some of my comic lists before. It's based in like ancient Ireland, and it's like musicians, battling it out at like music concerts and stuff. But that person also has a YouTube channel, and I got the idea to do the chibi art from him because he talked like his gimmick, as he said, was to draw people at conventions as sloths. And that's not my thing, obviously, and I'm not going to copy off of somebody else, but it's that idea of like what caricature artists do. They will draw people who just walk by, and that's how they make their money. If they're like at an event or something, people like to have art that's specific and personalized. And I would have never thought of even, I would never compare myself to like a caricature artist, because it's outside of like my realm of interest and my genre of what I work in. But this creator of Oi, he talked about that in some of his videos, and how his thing was he would draw people as sloths, and that would draw people in, and they might look at his art and maybe they would buy it or be interested. And, I thought, I've got nothing to lose. I could give this advice a go. And just from my personal experience this time, it doesn't mean it'll work forever or it'll work down the line, but my experience this time, taking somebody else's advice and trying something new, getting out of my comfort zone, but still staying within my comfort zone, if that makes sense. What the hell am I doing, y'all? Actually, it really worked. And then like people kind of like a few times people saw me doing it, and then they kind of wanted it done too. So okay, anyway, I just wanted to thank him. And I know a lot of people are kind of weird about like free art, but I mean, if you've listened to my channel, I talk about this a lot. Yes, people need to make a living, and it's not possible for everyone to give away free art. Obviously, if this is your livelihood, yeah, that makes sense. But just for me and my personality, as I've talked about several times, I've been in positions where I don't have money to buy art, or I don't have money to buy this, or I know people who can barely afford groceries or can't afford groceries. I've been in positions where I can't afford groceries. And art and entertainment to me is culturally significant. It's something that we've been doing since caveman drawings and before, even before that. You know, our arts were tales and myths. It was, you know, like audio art, you know, talking to one another. I find art to be, it is something that we have been doing forever. It's one of the oldest professions, well, not professions, but one of the oldest things that human beings have done. And even though we're living in the US at least, in a hyper capitalist society where people need to make money to survive, I want to be someone, because of my privilege, because I don't need to make money off my art, I want to be somebody who gives away that art. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Like, I want to make money off of it, sure. That's great because it helps me save. But at the end of the day, one of the main reasons why I do this kind of stuff for free is because not everyone is capable of doing it for free. I am capable of doing it for free, and I don't mind giving it away. Like, I'm not going to give everything away, obviously. You know, I don't want to sound like I'm some saint or something. But it's just, I've just known so many people that don't have like $50 to throw down for a print, or even sometimes $10 for this, that, or the other. So I scale things, you know, I have things that I sell for certain amounts that are more pricey, but then I feel that, you know, just that interaction and, you know, having a little piece of yourself given to you from somebody else, or, you know, I think that's important, I guess. Yeah, so anyway, I'm just kind of rambling now. I don't know, I'm kind of crazy. I'm sure I'm coming off as some kind of weirdo hippy dippy nut job, but that's fine. That's fine. I'm fine with that. Anyway, clearly I'm rambling, so it's time to end this video. Next week, we're going to have the monthly Q&A, and then in September, I'm going to be talking about a zine project that I'm working on, the Already a Magical Girl 90s zine. Ah, I'm so sorry. I'm really hyper today. Clearly. It's so early. I got up so early today. Water today. Nothing special. Anyway, peace and love. Fare you well. And keep on trucking.